We're gonna start the video here, even though it's a minute or so early. But it's gonna start with like the one of the best sentences that Panda ever said in this whole interview.
That's right. D4 not good. I don't think many
D4 bad.
people are going to disagree. Yeah.
Finally, something I can agree with Panda on. Finally.
I've
And I say
heard
that
of
as someone, I have
But what
Diablo
I'm
3 or Diablo 2 tattooed on my knee. I've
There it
loved
is.
that game for years.
Well,
You know what I
obviously,
mean?
if you like
4
Diablo
is not
2,
in a
you
good
hate
place.
Diablo 4.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, like the solutions that Diablo 4 had and the things that players wanted, like whenever you introduce, for example, and you have to assume that whenever Blizzard introduced that one patch in Diablo 4 that everybody hated, and then they came out and they did a public apology stream for it, it's kind of obvious that they misjudged what they were supposed to do. And it's because they reverted a lot of the changes. So like I think this goes back to what I was saying, that I actually don't have any trust in Blizzard's credibility as an authority on understanding what their player base wants on a level that you or I don't have.
So the patch he's talking about is basically patch 0.1, I believe, where they nerfed everyone to like right before the season 2 came out, or season 1, I guess. Yeah, right before season 1 came out, it nerfed the damage, they nerfed vulnerability and whatever, they nerfed cooldown reduction, shit like that. Basically, they nerfed the stuff that didn't really need nerfing, because now it just became more wanted. So what happened is, cooldown reduction is really good. Everyone wants cooldown reduction because your build feels better. They nerfed it, so now you have to have cooldown reduction on every piece of gear, whereas before you only needed like 4 pieces of gear. So now you're basically limiting one piece of, like one affix from your gear has to be cooldown reduction. So instead, what the nerf did is it made people want it more rather than trying other fucking shit, because other fucking shit doesn't feel as good and is not as good. So, nerf, stupid. Okay, then they nerfed vulnerability. However, here's the problem. Vulnerability was still number 1 by quite a lot compared to other damage modifiers. So people would still want vulnerability, except for like 1 or 2 builds that can't even use vulnerability. So again, the nerf didn't do anything. It just made it so you do less damage, but you still go for vulnerability. Instead of what they should have done is buff the other fucking stats. Now, there's a lot of problem with Diablo 4, like, for example, a shit ton of fucking affixes that, like, are boring and just stupid. Damage to chill, damage to frozen, damage to, like, stunned, and it's like, bro, like, these are all CCs. If damage to, like, you know, cold and damage to CC. Like, you don't need, like, Ackman did a brilliant video on that. This, like, you can see all of the affixes, and they're just, like, they're nothing burger. There's the affixes, like, just there to piss you off. Okay? Bad game design. Okay, Diablo 4 has so many fucking issues that the first season didn't fix, and I am waiting to see what the 4-hour stupid interview is about, because I guarantee you, how should I say this? Let's say Diablo 4 is in beta right now. Season 2 would make it beta 0.2 or beta 2.0 before the actual release. That will probably be season 4, when they actually get their shit together. Oh, we're gonna add so much shit. Oh, we're gonna add this. Oh, they're gonna add like Ubers. Oh, they're gonna fix the jam tab. Okay, all of this bullshit that they're gonna fix should have been there at the beginning, first of all. And second of all, even if they add all of that shit, it is still not enough. The systems are boring. You finish your character at 22 if you have all of the skill points from the statues of Lilith and all that shit. If you got, like, from the Paragon, sorry. If you have all of the skills from Paragon, you finish your build at 22. Okay, listen, like, this is how stupid it sounds. There's 100 levels. You finish your build at 22. Everything after that is trying to make your build feel a bit better and do more damage. But the build is set in stone. That's it. You are done. Everything else from now on is passives. This is not interesting. This is like, there's nothing to look forward to. Oh, I'm looking forward to doing 2% increased attack speed after like 10 levels. Oh, I'm looking forward to doing bigger numbers, doing the same fucking thing I've been doing for the last 20, 30 levels. This is not interesting gameplay. They cannot fix this because of how they made their system. Okay, unless they're doing a complete overhaul of their skill systems, complete overhaul of the Paragon, Season 2 is gonna be hot fucking dog water. Anyways, back to people like Panda being idiots.
I don't think that they have any better
Diablo, I'm not going
understanding.
to disagree. Diablo, I'm not going to disagree. But I
What's-
Do
think
you
with
think it's different people making WoW than Diablo? The philosophies are all there. The philosophy of the Paragon that you have to regrind it is the same philosophy we had with systems that you had to regrind on multiple characters. Everything that they learned from Diablo 3, they didn't implement Diablo 4. There's so many problems with Diablo 4 that if you played WoW, this is like second nature to you. You're like, oh, I know this issue. Yeah, this is normal. This is Blizzard quality now.
What do you
I
think they're
with-
using a different type of
I think it's
analytical
different
service?
teams. I think it's different teams of people.
Philosophy's
But
the
again,
same.
I don't think so.
Look, I'll say this: I would hate to be in Blizzard's position. And I say that as someone.
Yeah.
If you gave me $100 million right now,
Of course you hate being in Blizzard's position because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They legit don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know how to make a game fun. They just know how to make a game so people will have to log into it.
and said, "Hey, you have to invest this money into a game," and I hate saying this, I really, really do,
Yeah.
because it hurts, right? I
Yeah,
would
because you're a fucking shill. Because you're a fucking shill. Because your personality is tied to being World of Warcraft fucking shill.
wouldn't put that money into an MMORPG. Because I don't think the player base of MMORPGs, for the most part these days, know what the fuck we want at all.
And here it is. This is the main point of this video. MMO players don't know what they want from MMORPG. Actually, yes, we do. We actually know what we want. We want, what do you call it? Jeez, I'm trying to look for the word. We are looking for a very expansive leveling experience. We are looking for goals to achieve at the end game. We're looking for something massive just attacking us out of nowhere, and you gather a group of fucking people and you charge at it. You want to see 100 people without lag charging at a target. You want to see massive, if you're doing into PvP, okay, you want to see massive battles, fucking castles, fucking trebuchets. You want to see what do you call it, like bringing the, forgot what they're called, but basically what Sylvanas blows up in the cinematic, the thing that rides up towards the wall and like there's units in it and they go into the castle from the top, right? Basically like leather machine, I don't know what they're called. You want to see shit like that happening, okay? That's what we want. It's not that complicated. We want to have instance content like raids and dungeons. We want to have open world content, also can be like delves basically, or dungeons, or even like massive world bosses that like basically similar to Guild Wars 2. They don't have to be hard, they just have to be holy shit. Okay, we want to have massive fucking, we just want Guild Wars 2, honestly. Just want Guild Wars 2, but like we want to have areas where you can get fucked by other players, like another Stranglefall Veil, okay? There's so many things that, yes, we want this and want everything to feel good. And in my opinion, rock, paper, scissors feel better than trying to balance everything. We want each class to bring its own specialty, something unique to the table. Okay, so you have to learn how to deal with it, or like what to wait for, how to counter it. Okay, I don't want my paladin and my warrior to be able to overheal themselves. Paladins are the off healers. Warriors have something else. In my opinion, warriors shouldn't be able to just like heal after a kill. They might have like an ability that does life steal for a duration. Okay, bloodlust, I don't know. Right? Shit like that. Rogues can have their like little potions that can heal them over time, but if they take damage, it cancels. Okay? There's so much shit. Like you want the fantasy of the rogue, you want to be sneaky, you want to be stealing shit. Why is the rogue who has pickpocket and what's it called? Like all these stealth abilities, aside from Legion, had nowhere to use it? Does anyone ever have a minigame on the rogue fucking doing pickpocketing? Only in Legion I saw that. I haven't seen, and like honestly, let's be real, it was very basic. But you can have literally sneaking missions, rogue specific sneaking missions right? Or maybe it's like multiple rogues, right? You go into an instance and you have to steal treasure from somewhere, and only rogues can do this. So you would have to roll a rogue in order to do these abilities, right? Hunters, you're gonna have your training your pets, right? You have to capture pets and you have to train them, right? For other shit, for them to be able to do other shit. It doesn't have to be necessarily combat, but other cool shit. Maybe you can play fetch with them. I don't know. Whatever floats your boats. Right, Paladin might have like their own missions to like save people and salvage, like go to like temples and offer prayers, and that would give them something. Right, I don't know. Warriors will have gladiator battles inside of a coliseum. These are things that people want to see. They want to see immersion into the world. They want to see something unique brought to the table. That's all they want. It's not that hard to figure out what MMORPGs want. It's very hard to make it happen, especially with WoW, because WoW is so adamant about making content that you will forget about on the next patch, in a month, in 2 weeks. This is what WoW is good for. WoW is good for wasting your time. There's absolutely nothing in WoW that I feel like, man, I just wasted my fucking time. There's absolutely nothing in WoW right now. The last time that I remember that I didn't feel like I wasted my time was probably Mage Tower. That is the last time I didn't feel like I wasted my time. That's it. I cannot think of another thing. Oh, what about the raids? What about the raids? What about the raids? Dealing with 19 other fucking monkeys just like me, when one of them fucks up, you fucking die? Oh, but you get cutting edge. Who gives... Like, why do you... do you think I care about cutting edge? Who gives a shit about cutting edge? Why do you care about that? It's just a title of that you managed to deal with 19 monkeys just like you that were able to do simple ass fucking mechanics that they had to listen to their DBM or whatever. Yeah, they're just boss mods. Yeah, DBM and their weak auras in order to do. And they had to do it properly. That's it. You're dealing more with your team. Your team is the actual fucking boss of the game than the fucking raid. I haven't found any one raid encounter that was actually fucking complicated. Except Kill Jaden. And I don't even know why they didn't bring the Kill Jaden mechanic back. People hated it. Nerf it, make it more friendly. It was a cool mechanic, in my opinion, that everything goes dark. You have to find a spot. Hunters could cheese it. Demon Hunters could cheese it, I believe, as well. You have to find Illidan, then you light up the thing for a duration. Make something like that. Make something like that where it's like you have like two people, maybe like the healers, that they get lanterns in the darkness no one can see, and these healers have to gather up players. Everyone teleports in different locations. Only the healers can see where the players are, and the healers will go and gather up the players and then find the boss. And you gotta do it as fast as possible. There you go. Boom. A new mechanic. But not really new, but you used in Kill Jaden. Okay? This is not fucking rocket science. But they don't want to do it. Oh, people didn't like it, so we're not gonna do it anymore. Motherfucker, make it so people enjoy it. Make it a fun mechanic. Blizzard doesn't know how to make fun. They just know how to be fucking annoying and useless.
Right, I really don't. And I think that that's a much bigger conversation. But I think MMORPGs right now are in a horrible place. I think for the most part, the conversation sways.
No, they're not. And you know why I know he doesn't know this? Because he only plays World of Warcraft. Oh, sorry. He also played 1,500 hours of Final Fantasy XIV. And again, personally, I play Final Fantasy XIV for the story and a little bit of the end content. Yeah, I didn't find much of a reason to like keep sticking around, but I feel like that's fine. That's just what Final Fantasy was for me. I'm not into catgirls. I'm not into RP and all that shit. People who are always playing it. Look at Zepla. She just literally, like, every time she's on Final Fantasy, all she does is sit by a table and talks. Right? This is what she's like what she calls Final Fantasy 14 gameplay. And again, I'm not hating on her. Asmongold was doing circles around Dalaran. Good for him. Whatever. People were watching and him running circles in Dalaran. Okay? Or Oribos also running circles. Okay? So, yeah. I mean, that's just what the those MMORPGs are. Guild Wars 2, bro, I don't have enough time in the day to fucking play what I like to play. I have to give myself mini missions every day that I want to do. And then if I have time, I can do other shit. On the weekends, I finally get to play the actual game. Okay, but I'm having fun because if I don't want to do the daily missions that I chose to do, I can do other daily missions. I can give myself whatever I want. Like if I want to start, maybe I just want to do one day where I just do PvP, and also do PvP there. So fucking good, right? But in my opinion, Guild Wars 2, like I said, in like too much, I'm being a Guild Wars 2 shill now. And again, it has its issues, of course. But for the most part, the freedom in Guild Wars 2 was exactly what I was looking for with an MMORPG. Yes, it took a bit of time to get used to the combat. Yes, it kind of sucked for about 100 hours. Yes, I'll give you that. And I even had to take a break for a few months to like kind of like loosen up from it. And when I came back, holy shit, when shit started opening up, oh my god, bro. I love this game. Okay? And Guild Wars 2 made me appreciate things that I would not appreciate before. And I believe that what Guild Wars 2 did for me is what WoW Classic is doing to a lot of other players, where they can appreciate leveling and the professions and stuff like that. I still wouldn't. This is like, it's just not what I care about in the MMORPG. And in my opinion, it's like leveling, I feel like it can be fun. I don't think it's fun in World of Warcraft Classic. My opinion. I think it's a dogshit game. I think if it didn't have Warcraft in the name, if another game released exactly the same, everything is exactly the same, and it wasn't called Warcraft, no one would play it. That's legit what I think. And you can say that's like I'm blaming nostalgia, and to an extent I am. And the people who are playing it without nostalgia are playing it because other people are playing it for nostalgia. It's like, oh, I'm meeting all these people in the world. Guess what? Most people you meet in the world playing because of nostalgia. You might not, but now you're seeing people. Okay? Play Guild Wars 2. You're going to see people all the time.
So back and forth, whether people want the game to be grindy, whether or not people want the game not to be grindy.
Grindy is a very interesting concept, by the way. Grindy, for example, Guild Wars 2 is extremely grindy. It is really fucking grindy. I mean, let's just say it like this. If you want to do all the legendaries and stuff like that, some people take 2 years to do the legendaries. It used to take 4 months to get a sky skill. It used to take like 2-3 months to get like your legendary necklace, even though it's kind of free, right? Because there's so much to do. However, it doesn't feel like a grind. Why? Because you're getting rewarded along the way. You are not doing it. You're doing it because you want to, with a goal in mind, so you don't feel the grind. It's the same as like, is Eureka in Final Fantasy XIV grindy? Oh, fuck yeah, it is just pure grind. I didn't for a second think of Eureka as grindy, because it didn't feel grindy. I knew it was a grind, but I never felt the grind. Why? Because I had a clear goal in mind. I was constantly getting rewarded as I was doing it. I was having fun. I would say everyone wants an MMORPG to be grindy. However, they don't want to feel the grind. They want to have fun with it. If you're having fun, you're not grinding. Because if you're not having fun, anything you do is grind. If you're not enjoying Mythic Plus, you're grinding Mythic Plus. If you're enjoying Mythic Plus, you're enjoying Mythic Plus. It's not a grind. You're doing the same exact thing. The only difference is you're having fun. If you're having fun, it is not actively a grind, because you do not feel like it's a grind. If you are farming arenas and you're losing all the time, you feel like you're grinding arenas because you are not getting results. If you're doing arenas and you're winning all the time, you're having fun even if you're losing and shit like that, and you're just doing it because you're enjoying arenas, guess what? It's not a grind anymore. So I said, this guy is like, sorry, not this guy. People like Panda are idiots.
It's too hard to gear. It's too easy to gear. I want WoW to be seasonal. I want other games to be seasonal. Final Fantasy's main story quest line takes too long. I don't want to talk to some cat for 17 fucking hours before I can do a dungeon. Right? It is an impossible market these days, in my opinion, right, to try and...
Not really. Not really at all. You don't have to, like, Final Fantasy XIV doesn't have to make the MSQ mandatory. It can easily just remove MSQ from being mandatory. and just have it as a side thing with its own rewards that have nothing to do with like power levels, right? I mean, you have the whole Hildebrand. In my opinion, the rewards should be better, but I mean, the dance is kind of funny. But you have the whole Hildebrand that a lot of players enjoyed. This is not mandatory content. This doesn't really unlock anything for you. Could have done the same with the MSQ. You want to know the story? Here's the fucking story, but nothing is locked behind the story. And I think that would be still work well for Final Fantasy 14. The only problem, the reason that it wouldn't, in a sense, is because Final Fantasy 14 doesn't really have a whole lot of endgame content overall. It has very accessible content. Savages are great fights. In my opinion, probably the best raid design by far that I enjoyed the most is Final Fantasy 14. Way more than Guild Wars 2. Way more than fucking World of Warcraft. Raid design in Final Fantasy 14, in my opinion, by far the most fun I've had. Savage is also, I like the, I mean, you can call it a dance type, but it's like, I like knowing mechanics and predicting them. I don't mind random mechanics, but I can't trust my team to actually know what the fuck they're doing. This is my problem. I do not trust my team to know what they're doing. Some guy is hit by a random mechanic that they've never seen. They don't know what's going on. The raid fucking wipes, and everyone has to learn the mechanic personally. I'd rather everyone knows their fucking role. They know exactly what they're doing. They know which mechanic is going to hit them, and they can play it. Okay? Ultimates are very similar as well. There are certain locations that you go at certain times. It's a very dense thing. I get it, but it is way more fun, in my opinion, because people can actually learn a fight better in less time, and it's more obvious what is going on, and you don't need add-ons. I mean, you can have add-ons if you're a cheater, but you don't need them.
And find a balance. And I would hate to fucking work for Blizzard and try and be the person that has to come up with systems that tries to make everyone in this genre happy. But at the same time, to play devil's advocate for my own conversation,
you want to make... Okay, quick fix for Blizzard. You don't want to play the patch, you want to play the expansion. You know how you do that? Lower the item level gaps. Okay? Each patch will increase the max item level by 5. Okay, for example. Right? Honestly, in my opinion, it should be horizontal for each patch, but for each expansion, and then next expansion would just be new higher item level gear, sure, but like the expansion, in my opinion, should be horizontal. And then, so each expansion is vertical, but the expansion itself is horizontal. I would like that way better. Okay, and the only progression that your character can make in order to get like more damage and whatever would be like a secondary system, would be specific trinkets, would be certain like a paragon level for your character or some shit like that. Not something, and like honestly, in my opinion, even better than that, a system for the raid, a system for the Mythic Plus, a system for PvP that increases your capabilities in that, and then every patch when the raid and the new Mythic Plus comes out, you can expand on that system. Okay, and then every expansion will reset. It will shuffle up to different things, see what people like, see what people didn't like, add the things that people liked, remove things that people didn't like. Shit like that, okay? And also you can change them up as freely as you want. Like, let's say it's an actual like talent tree for raids, talent tree for Mythic Plus, talent tree for PvP. Okay? Not like the actual talents that you have, but like a talent tree specific that works. The more raiding you do, the more you can advance that talent tree, which would help you with raiding. And then gear plays less overall, right? You still have your best in slot, but you don't need it as much to have the best in slot. Right? Unless you want to min-max like a motherfucker. Okay? So that's, again, this in my opinion will solve a lot of problems that WoW has. You won't have to play the patch anymore. You can get to play the expansion. And the team can start focusing on stuff, on what's it called? On content that can last through expansions, like a Mage Tower, like a Torghast that is not mandatory, that has like the infinite scaling up to like, let's say, floor 1000, and you fucking just, your character just goes fucking bollocks, breaks the fucking game. That's how good Torghast should have been, basically what it was in the beta. Battlefronts, better AI, fix it up, make it more interesting, make it less stupid than what it was, with its own rewards, maybe also again another talent system or whatever, and there would always be reason to do it, right? Like right now, why are people still farming world bosses? People who've been playing for 10 years in Guild Wars 2 are still farming world bosses because there's still a reason, because you get resources for it, like you're still advancing something, right? even if you feel like there's not much to advance, you're still advancing something, right? Rewards can be materials. You don't have to go around the world and grind mines and what's it called, mining nodes and plants and all that shit. You can go ahead and do like an activity that will reward you those things. So it's not as boring, it's not as mundane. So you have a reason to do these things, right? All these, like, there's small things you can do right now that will make the game 100 times better because people will have shit to do. Right now, what is there to do in Dragonflight? Mythic Plus, rating, PvP. Still. Oh, but there's like zones with like rare farms and like you can collect mounts. Bro, are you fucking... If you are still collecting mounts, I'm sorry. If your enjoyment in WoW is still collecting mounts, then in my opinion, your opinion of what the game should be should not matter. Because as long as I throw mounts into whatever system WoW like decides to bring in, just throw mounts at it and you'll be fine with it. It doesn't matter. Your opinion is null and void. Like there's like, you don't care about the content, you just care about the mount. Then whatever, we'll just throw a mount reward for you and there you go. You can be a happy camper and you can play the game however the fuck you want as long as you get your mount. It doesn't matter how bad or good the system is. So again, any changes that would happen to the game, to the systems in the game, will not affect people who just like are there for like cosmetics or are there for just like mounts and shit like that. Fuck them.
I don't get paid a lot of money to do that.
Well,
all right, and that was it. Yeah, rest in peace, Panda. Was nice. I'm pretty sure Asmongold canceled the stream on purpose. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, either way, as you can see, the only thing I agreed with Panda on was something at some point that is, oh yeah, Diablo 4 bad. Out of like basically an hour 45 and then whatever the 3 minutes, so basically like an hour 50, an hour 47 of Panda talking fucking dog shit, dog water, doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. And again, Panda, sorry, people like Panda are the type of people who will play WoW no matter what. These are the type of people who didn't quit during Shadowlands. These are the type of people who would not quit even if Blizzard shat in their fucking mouth, not just on their game. So in my opinion, their opinion about the game almost doesn't matter because they would play it no matter what. So who gives a shit what they think about the game? Blizzard should be bringing back players that want the game to improve, that want to play the game, but right now the state of the game is so fucking dog shit that they are not willing to spend money and give Blizzard that money. That is who Blizzard should be targeting. People who are still talking about the game, like me, and are not playing it. Why we're not playing it? Because we still know that the game is a fucking disarray. The game is fucking dog shit. There is no fucking content outside of doing Mythic Plus and raiding. There is none. And dude, there are days I'm like, man, I kind of want to try out WoW again. And then I'm like, well, what is there to do? Oh, Mythic Plus and raiding? Yeah, fuck that. I'm out. Okay? And on that note, thank you for watching. And on next one, we're gonna do highlights of the Beller video. And see what Panda was saying that offended Beller so much. Well, I mean, I know what he was saying and what offended him, but let's see what he actually refers to. Anyways, that's the video. I'll see you in the next one. Part 4 or 5 on the next part. See you on the next part.